Children's literature at the U. The University of Minnesota was one of the first in the country to embrace children's literature as a serious object of study and teaching. Take a look at some of the highlights of this largely unknown history. 1928. Beginnings. Dora V. Smith, Ph.D. There's a black and white photo of Dora V. Smith, who is posing with a smile and sitting in front of a fireplace. The caption reads, Dora V. Smith, Portrait from End Pages of 50 Years of Children's Books, 1963. Photo courtesy of Minneapolis Sunday Tribune. Dora V. Smith becomes the first professor of children's literature in the College of Education. A literary scholar by training, she designs an introductory course that positions children's literature as an important part of teacher candidate preparation. Her work incorporates research done at U of M Institute of Child Development since 1923, which identifies children's books as a crucial resource for supporting young people's social, emotional, and cognitive development. In 1930, Dr. Smith designs the nation's first course in adolescent literature. 1941. Children's Book Institute established as an annual event. There's an image of an article titled, U of M will hold pre-book meetings Monday, dated November 4th, 1948. The caption reads, 1948 Book Week Release Information. Image courtesy of University Archives. Dr. Smith hosts the inaugural Children's Books Institute event, later to become Book Week, at the University of Minnesota. The event includes a guest talk by an award-winning author and becomes a keynote for the annual Spring Conference of English Teachers and Librarians, organized by Dr. Smith since 1938. The 1941 guest speaker is Ruth Sawyer, author of 1937 Newbery Medal winner Roller Skates. 1949. Arrival of the Kiurlen Collection. There's a black and white image of Dr. Irvin Kiurlen wearing a tuxedo standing by a bookshelf with an open book in hand. Image courtesy of Minnesota Public Radio. The Kiurlen Collection is established through a contract between Minnesota native and U of M graduate Irvin Kiurlen, MD, and the University Library. The original Kiurlen donation includes many first editions of award-winning works of children's literature. In time, it will grow to be one of the largest collections of children's literature original artwork and manuscripts in the world. 1950. Naomi C. Chase, Ph.D. There's a black and white image of Dr. Naomi C. Chase. The source of the image is unknown. Naomi C. Chase, a former classroom teacher, joins the Department of Education as instructor in children's literature program. Passionate about empowering children as readers and writers, she completes her doctorate in 1958. In her 26 years at the U, Dr. Chase will inspire generations of students and colleagues. Her memory is honored in 1980 with an establishment of an annual lecture in children's literature. 1958. Noreen Odlin, Ph.D. There's a black and white image of a group of students gathered around an unidentifiable object on the desk. The caption reads, Students in the College of Education learn about practical applications of pedagogical theory, 1959. Photo courtesy of University Archives. Following the retirement of Dr. Smith in 1958, her former advisee, Dr. Noreen Odlin, is appointed professor of children's literature. With prior experience of having taught at the ULab School, Dr. Odlin broadens the range of courses in children's literature. Her friendships with numerous children's book authors and illustrators across the U.S. helps Dr. Odlin develop the Children's Book Dinner and the New Books for Young Readers initiative. She is also instrumental in establishing a number of endowments that will support the work in children's literature for decades to come. 1961. Writing by and for children. There's a black and white image of elementary-aged children and an adult. The caption reads, a University of Minnesota student in the College of Education, guides elementary students in a reading lesson. 1959. Photo courtesy of University Archives. Dr. Odlin and Dr. Chase develop a summer course, Writing for and by Children, which replaces the Spring Conference of English Teachers and Librarians, an annual event until 1959. Extremely popular, the course draws teachers and librarians from many school districts. During the peak years, enrollments soar over 100, as Dr. Odlin and Dr. Chase bring authors and illustrators as guest lecturers. 1965. Bette Peltola, Ph.D. Bette Peltola is the first advisee of Dr. Odlin to receive her Ph.D. in children's literature. She will go on to become Professor of Elementary Education and Children's Literature at the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee for 30 years. Among her undergraduate students are Julie Jensen at the U of M, the future President of National Council of Teachers of English and Professor of Literacy Education at the University of Texas, and Lee Gelda at UW-Milwaukee, the future Henry Professor at the U of M. 1967. Karen Nelson becomes curator of the Kirlin. There's a headshot image of Dr. Karen Nelson Hoyle, 1999. Karen Nelson, later Nelson Hoyle, becomes the curator of the Kirlin and Hess collections at university libraries. In her 45-year career, Dr. Nelson Hoyle transforms the Kirlin from a collection of boxes stored in Walter Library to a top research collection of worldwide fame. She expands the scope of the Kirlin by reaching out to authors and illustrators to solicit original artwork and manuscripts. In 1976, Dr. Nelson Hoyle consolidates the Kirlin, Hess, series books, and Paul Bunyan collections into the Children's Literature Research Collections. 1971. New Books for Young Readers. The New Books for Young Readers initiative is launched by Dr. Odlin to provide schools and libraries across Minnesota with reviews of recommended titles each year. Books are evaluated by faculty and graduate students at Curriculum and Instruction on the basis of literary merit and appeal to readers between the ages of 3 and 18. The publication of NBYR is supported by a contribution from Dr. Julie Jensen, a former advisee of Dr. Chase and Professor of Literacy at the University of Texas. 1972, 25th anniversary of the Kirlin. There's an image of an invitation for a luncheon at the National Council of Teachers of English National Convention. The caption reads, NCTE Children's Book Luncheon Invitation. Image courtesy of Dr. Karen Nelson Hoyle Archives. The 25th anniversary of the Kirlin's founding is celebrated throughout the year with author talks, including the visit of Beverly Cleary. Special events are held for participants of the 62nd National Council of Teachers of English National Convention, held in Minneapolis in November that year. The Kirlin hosts a pre-conference workshop, luncheon, and several tours throughout the week-long meeting. 1974. Kirlin Award and Kirlin Friends established. There's an image of the Kirlin Awards brochure from 2001. Image courtesy of Dr. Karen Nelson Hoyle Archives. The Kirlin Collection's 25th Anniversary Committee with Dr. Odlin, Dr. Nelson Hoyle, Dr. Chase, and others votes to establish an advisory group of Kirlin Friends, the Kirlin Newsletter, and the Kirlin Award. All these secure support and interest in the collection, creating new avenues for cooperation among the Kirlin, the Department of Curriculum and Instruction, and children's literature reader community across Minnesota. 1980. Chase Lecture established. There's a black and white image of Marguerite Henry standing next to a horse. The caption reads, Margaret Henry, Newbery Award-winning author of King of the Wind, The Story of the Godolphin Arabian, 1949. Image courtesy of Wikimedia. Dr. Odlin establishes an endowment to support the Naomi C. Chase Lecture in Children's Literature. The lecture honors the memory of Dr. Chase and her particular interest in helping children develop as writers. Author Marguerite Henry appears as guest speaker at the inaugural Chase. That same year, the 8th Children's Literature Association's annual conference is hosted at the U of M on March 27th to the 29th, with Dr. Nelson Hoyle serving as convener. 1982, Diane L. Monson, Ph.D. There's an image of Dr. Diane Monson, image courtesy of Dr. Diane Monson Archives. Diane Monson, previously Professor of Education and Department Chair at the University of Washington, joins the College of Education as Professor of Language Arts and Children's Literature. Noreen Odland's second doctoral student, her dissertation dealt with children's responses to humor in literature, and literary response was the focus of many of her publications. Following the retirement of Dr. Odland in 1989, Dr. Monson assumes responsibility for the children's literature program. She designed several new courses, including Research in Children's Literature, a doctoral seminar on a range of research strategies in the field of children's literature. She further expands the outreach of the program as president of U.S. Board on Books for Young People. 1985, the Kirtland at Bologna Book Fair. There's a black and white photo of Ezra Keats holding a paintbrush, smiling and sitting near paintbrushes, easels, and canvases. The caption reads, "Children's book author and illustrator Ezra Keats in his studio." Image courtesy of Encyclopedia Britannica. The Ezra Keats Fellowship is established to support a talented author or illustrator to travel to the Kirtland Collection to learn about creating children's books. The Kirtland also receives a grant for its first computer. Dr. Hoyle and her team create an exhibit, an American Sampler, children's books from the Kirtland Collection of the University of Minnesota, for the International Children's Book Fair in Bologna, Italy. The exhibit will travel throughout the U.S. for the next 3 years. 1989, Jack Zipes, Ph.D. There's a black and white image of Dr. Jack Zipes sitting behind a desk and a stack of books. The caption reads, "Jack Zipes in his office, 1990." Image courtesy of Jack Zipes and Carol Dines Archives. Dr. Jack Zipes, the world's leading scholar of the fairy tale, joins the U of M as professor at the Department of German, Scandinavian, and Dutch. Author of 75 books and over 200 articles and book chapters, Dr. Zipes teaches classes on fairy tales, folklore, and children's literature until his retirement in 2008. 1993, the Sidney and Margaret Henry Endowment. In the last few years before her retirement in 1989, Dr. Odland and her friend Margaret Henry developed an idea of an endowment that will support a professorship in children's literature at the College of Education and Human Development, as well as graduate assistantship in the Department of Curriculum and Instruction. The Sidney and Margaret Henry Endowment is established in 1993 with the goal of supporting study, research, teaching, and outreach in children's literature, as well as collaboration with the Kirtland. In 2012, Dr. Lee Gelda becomes the first Henry Professor in CEHD. 1997, Neighborhood Bridges. There's an image of Dr. Jack Zipes sitting with a group of elementary students. The caption reads, "Jack Zipes in a storytelling session with the Neighborhood Bridges students, May 2005. Image courtesy of Maria Asp. A storytelling and creative drama program, Neighborhood Bridges, is founded by Dr. Zipes in collaboration with Maria Asp from the Children's Theater Company of Minneapolis. The program has since won a number of awards and has thrived in the elementary schools in the Twin Cities. 1998, Lee Gelda, Ph.D. There's an image of Dr. Lee Gelda lecturing a group of students. The caption reads, "Dr. Gelda teaching C&I 5402, Research in Special Collections, the Kirtland." Image courtesy of Karen Nelson Hoyle Archives. After having taught at the University of Georgia for 19 years and following the retirement of Dr. Monson, Dr. Lee Gelda is appointed Professor of Children's Literature in the Department of Curriculum and Instruction. Soon, Dr. Gelda designs C&I 3401, Diversity in Children's Literature, which becomes a required course for elementary education majors at a time when almost all other universities abolished their undergraduate children's literature courses. She also develops CNI 8400, Children's Literature and Transactional Theory, a graduate seminar on how transactional theory applies to the teaching of children's and adolescent literature. 2003. Critical Literacy, Storytelling, and Creative Drama. There's an image of a group of students on a stage. The caption reads, "Cast of a Children's Theater Production." Image courtesy of CEHD Archives. Dr. Zipes and Maria Asp from Children's Theater Company designed a summer course, Critical Literacy, Storytelling, and Creative Drama, intended for graduate students in curriculum instruction, particularly those seeking teaching licensure in English or literacy and theater studies. The course examines storytelling and creative drama as tools to help develop K-12 students' critical literacy. The course has since been co-taught by Dr. Sonia Kuftanek from Theater Arts and Dance and Maria Asp. 2012. Book Week becomes CEHD signature event. There is an image of Christopher Paul Curtis in conversation with an elementary-aged child. The caption reads, "Christopher Paul Curtis at Book Week 2012. Image courtesy of CEHD Archives." Dr. Jean Quam, Dean of the College of Education and Human Development, adopts Book Week as the signature event of the college. The newly launched Sidney and Margaret Henry Professorship in Children's and Young Adult Literature is awarded to Dr. Gelda. The 2012 Book Week speaker is award-winning author Christopher Paul Curtis. 2012. Lisa Von Drasik appointed Curator of Children's Literature Research Collections. There is an image of 3 people holding award certificates. The caption reads, Lisa Von Drasik, left, with Kate DiCamillo, center, and Linda Sue Park, right. Winners of the Kierland Awards in 2014. Image courtesy of Marek Osiewicz. Following the retirement of Dr. Nelson Hoyle, Lisa Von Drasik becomes curator of CLRC. Von Drasik, librarian, educator, and archivist, joins the U of M from the Bank Street College of Education in New York, bringing a wealth of experience in working with K-12 students. 2013. Marek Osiewicz, PhD. There is an image of Marek Osiewicz sitting in a library with an open book in front of him. Image courtesy of Marek Osiewicz. Following Dr. Gelda's retirement, Dr. Marek C. Osiewicz is appointed Sidney and Margaret Henry Professor of Children's and Young Adult Literature. Dr. Osiewicz joins the U of M after 16 years of teaching children's literature at the University of Wrocław, Poland. A comparative children's literature scholar, he expands the range of courses in children's literature with special focus on modern speculative fiction. Children's literature at the U. The University of Minnesota was one of the first in the country to embrace children's literature as a serious object of study and teaching. Take a look at some of the highlights of this largely unknown history.